Hey, welcome back to another episode of Rock Fantasy Files. Sorry we missed a week last week. We were waiting for a special guest, couldn't make it, and I was super busy. And Denny's upset that he couldn't see us all, but Denny's back, and we're all back tonight. We're doing an episode. It's not an album battle, anything like that. I simply asked the panel tonight, what have you been listening to? Like, what's been in your headphones? What's been on your stereo? What's on your record player? The last, maybe first quarter of this year or this week or last week. Is it something from the 70s? Is it something current that just got released? So that's what I asked everybody. We've picked out 3 to 5 or more things as honorable mentions. And we're going to go around. Of course, tonight we got Tom from Into the Void back with us. Looks like he's a regular. We got Robert Tuttle from Lady Evil and the Greg Woods band here locally in the panel tonight. We've got Obie staying up all night again. We got Miles of Metal from Louisiana. We got, of course, Tony Dio here from North Carolina. We got the metal historian Count Ralphus. We got Mr. Steve Levin. We got Ed Farsley from Armageddon Productions, and of course Sasquatch Denny Barth. Did I miss somebody? Did someone disappear? It seemed like it got confusing because there's a screen going on and off and moving around, but I hope I didn't miss anybody on that. So here we are tonight. We're going to kick it off, and Denny has to go to a hockey game. So he doesn't have to stay and be the last one on tonight. He's going to get in and out. So we're going to go around and give like 3 and then come back and give 2. But Denny is going to give you the whole thing right now. So welcome, Denny.
Hey man, yeah, hockey in Canada is known as church. So
That is.
that's what we do. Yeah, so like what I've been listening to, I think like when it comes to new stuff, again, completely amazed at the quality of record and heavy metal that's out there these days. Like, like everybody talks about that golden era, 78, 83, whatever, when Run to the Hills was like in the charts. But Jesus Christ, there's a lot of good shit like out right now. And again, I'm going to mention some of the things that I've been listening to. I still really, really enjoyed the new Saxon. I've been listening to it like pretty much every day. At least went to the album at least a couple times. Such high quality fucking metal, and all kudos to Biff and those guys. Like it's I think they're gonna become more popular just because like every fucking record they release is just amazing. So so yeah, the new Saxon. I really like the new Lucifer. I had a chance to see them live late last year. These guys are very professional. It sounds really good. It's a weird it's a weird vibe of like almost like I don't know. I feel like Nicky Anderson from Antum and Helicopters always have the ear to release some music that's really like hooky and still keeps like being heavy. It really reminds me of like how I felt when I heard the first 4 Danzig. Um, Kind of like a bit of rock, classic rock to it, but also a new element of like like just heaviness. And they were amazing live. I really enjoyed the new Morbid Saint. I think it's a fucking great record. They delivered the goods. I enjoyed that. I've been listening to the Ace Frehley, and I'm still like on the fence on it. Like it seems a little poppy to me, but at the same time, it's Ace Frehley. So just like you look at the videos and then with all those chicks and things like that, and like I don't know, it there is some catchy songs in there. Some stuff is a little too maybe poppy for me. But at least after I listened to the album, I had like I think I had a favorable opinion of the record. And of course, like Ace really is one of my all-time heroes. So like you're already kind of like always already want to like the product. But I've been disappointed over the years sometimes. But this one is really good. So that's some of the album. Like other things new that I've been listening to that really caught my ears. I think there was the new I listened to the new The Rods. They're on the same label as Aggression, that Massacre Records, and there is some good freaking metal on there. It's always a bands that's been like kind of like underground, but they do have a following. And the album is actually really good. So that's kind of like what my I've been listening to lately when it comes to new stuff. Now, when it comes to old stuff, I've been on a completely kick of like fucking Molly Hatchet, Black
Hmm.
Oak, Arkansas, Skinner, Point Blank, Charlie Daniels Band,
Wow.
Allman Brothers, the Marshall Tucker Band, and like you swear I'm from the fucking bayous. I know these albums like so well in and out. I want to try to look like Artemis Spile on Street Survivor. So
You're
like
getting there.
Yeah.
I know, like the cops don't even stop me anymore. They're just like, just drive through, sir, drive through, sir. But yeah, so and you know what? I don't know why it's always been in me, like Southern rock. I saw Molly Hatchet when I was really young, and my cousin always listened to Skinner and Allman Brothers. Always like Allman Brothers, like to me is what some other kids with their parents used to listen to, like Pink Floyd and things like that. At my house, it was always Allman Brothers. Um, so it's a good feeling. I like Black Oak, Arkansas so much that my youngest son name is Elijah after the song Uncle Elijah. Uh, so yeah, I've been really like playing guitar along to it, like remembering some of the leads for Skinner and Hatchet, and um, yeah, it's just been a really like southern rock vibe. Like as I'm waiting for summer to come back, spring and then summer, and then for the weather to start to be better. Like for me, I think a lot of the things I listen to is very seasonal. Like the first
That makes
snow,
sense.
I always put Immortal, you know, and then like when it starts to be nice out and the girls start to remove their fucking jackets, then it's Van Halen. Like I don't know, I've been like that my entire life, so I just go to the
Yeah,
motion. But
music
yeah,
is part of lifestyle.
yeah, I've been really on a southern rock kick, and I know we talk about like maybe do a like southern rock episode in the future, and we did
Mm.
something a little bit
Yeah.
We
like
did a
that, but
Skinnered one once.
yeah, I think it'd be cool to
Yeah.
maybe touch some of the other obscure band. Like I know Point Blank is not that known out there, but they have some
Yeah.
really good records as
Not
well
that
as Doc
familiar with them
Holliday.
either.
And there's so many of them, so many of them.
I saw Doc Holliday's keyboard player a couple months ago at a show.
How
Hey,
was it?
I saw
Denny,
Doc.
have you seen? I just watched last week. I watched. I think it was on the Tubi network on the app. There was a newer documentary about Jim Dandy. It's like a
Oh yeah,
2018 documentary about him and the band and how he's still out there doing it. It's really interesting.
We
yeah.
had
Like I
But you,
mean, these
you
guys
also
are
got
still.
like newer southern rock bands, so it'd be cool like to do an episode like with old southern rock bands. We were newer, the new generation, like Blackberry Smoke, and
Yeah.
kind of like
Yeah,
see
I
how it
do.
evolved.
I do have the new Blackberry Smoke, and like grandma lives there with us, and she likes Blackberry Smoke, so
freaking.
I usually come home and then it's playing in the fucking house. Like
I
so
saw yeah, there's a new Blackberry Smoke. That's because it's way off subject, but I saw the drummer passed away
He
suddenly.
did. Yeah,
yeah,
he had like a
unfortunately.
form of brain cancer. Yeah.
Oh, he did.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys know this, but he and his brother, his brother's the bass player, and
Mm.
they were in a thrash metal band from Atlanta called
Yes, you
Nihilist.
said that before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
hmm Yeah.
But
They were on
He's
one of the
saying
metal, I
Nile.
think Metal
He's
Massacre
saying
10. They had a
nihilist, not
song on
Nile.
Hmm?
Tony's saying Nile. You said nihilist?
Nihilist from Atlanta.
Yeah, because we talked about that before, but we were talking about Nile, and we were talking about Chief
Yeah.
Oh,
Sanders.
yeah.
Chief was in Nile. Yeah.
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 Yeah. I was going through some old phone books that I had not long ago when I used to book bands at a club and came across stuff like Chief's number for booking Nile and stuff like that back in the early 90s. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
And one last thing I'll say before I'll listen to you guys. The funny enough, this week out of the blue, like we're gonna be doing some concert festival here in Canada with the Narcotic Wasteland, the ex guitar singer from Nile, and they're on an agency that we used to be on that help aggression and all that. And that agency also do a lot of like other genre, like they do Blackfoot, Angel, a lot of bands like that. And I always told a girl there that I was a big fan of Blackfoot and Ricky Medlock. So
Oh, he is awesome.
yeah, she was able to like get me his contact, and I just sent him a message saying like, hey, fucking loser up in Canada. But I just want to say I like your music. And I like Blackfoot. I like what you did with Skinner and all that. So and he responded and he said, hey man, cool. If ever we're on tour or something, come say hi or whatever. So seemed very down to earth, very kind of like cool guy. But it's kind of like for me, he's like, wow, it's Ricky Medlock. Like it's
Yeah, he's the coolest, man. He's out touring, right? He's touring as just Ricky Medlock band right now.
Yes.
So yeah, I said I would try to find a way to get to him and go see him live. But yeah, that's it. That's what I've been listening to
All
lately.
right. Cool.
Amazing new metal and some southern rock. That's what I've been doing.
Great. All righty. So we're gonna move. I'm gonna go by how everybody's on my screen. That's how I'm gonna do it tonight. I'm gonna start next to Mr. Obie. What's up, brother? What do you got for us?
All right. I've been listening to a lot of new music lately. I've been on what do you call it? Spree, like a metal spree. Instead of killing spree, it's been a metal spree.
That's good.
And I also want to do a shout out to Counter Alphas to kind of get me back into my death metal mode. Like I used to listen to death metal a lot, and then I had like a drought period where I listened to a lot of other things. But Ralph kind of got me into the death metal mode again. So it's been a lot of death metal lately. I'm going to start with a band from Denver, Ohio, called Spectral Voice.
On the show, all the guys talk about him because he walks in front.
And they have 2 albums out, and they are on Dark Descent Records, and they are so good because they are like really heavy. It's like death doom. It's really heavy, and it sounds like you're in a giant hole of like in another dimension. And then you got like heavy vocals, and you got heavy sound, and then you got a melody lead guitar going on top of that, and it's like every song is so different. It's really good. I recommend it. As in for the next one is a Japanese band I discovered called Coffins. They have been around since the 96, I think. They have 5 albums out, and they sound like say Voltor, Realm of Chaos mixed with like say Tombs of the Mutilated, and then you got like the Japanese kind of like flavor to it on top of that, so it makes it really interesting. Like it's not like patched up of like all the things they like, but they have taken like they pay tribute to the bands they like, and it sound like it couldn't have been released back in '89. But they also put their own flavor into it, so I recommend those guys. They are on Relapse Records. Next one is Vomit Forth. They are from Connecticut. They have only 1 album out. They are on Central Media, and they have like music videos like how do I explain it, Ralph? It's like videos like they are recorded in their home, just like an amateur thing, and just edited, bunched together. It's like low tech, like really cool stuff like we did look at in the 90s. And they are like full power on and have different vocals, like go from different vocal types to different tempo changes. They are really interesting. That's my 3 first.
Yeah,
All
they're
right.
super chaotic and really brutal. Obie's always sending me like every new crazy death metal video he finds, and he's been getting me back in that mode too because every time he finds something, he sends it to me, and I gotta stop and watch it. It's always really cool shit.
Cool.
Nice.
All right, we're gonna move down to Louisiana and see what Mr. Miles of Metal has to say tonight.
Taylor Swift, wasn't it?
How's you?
No,
All right.
I listen to death metal.
All right. So I've been
That's
listening
what
to
you
a lot
say.
of older stuff.
Nice.
Some newer stuff, but I mainly go back to the older stuff mostly. First off, I'm been listening to a lot of a band called Incubus.
Oh,
Yeah,
I know those guys.
I'm not talking about that fucking mellow whatever
Yeah.
band. No, I'm talking about fucking the real Incubus. The album that I've been blasting for a while now is Beyond the Unknown.
Oh,
And,
good.
Classic.
and it just,
So fucking good, man.
they're from Metairie, Louisiana. And dude, they just kick your fucking mouth in and it doesn't stop. That whole album, it just does not stop. They changed their name to it starts with an O. I don't
I
know what
can't
it is.
pronounce it.
Yeah, yeah, there we go. I still
Really
call
strong.
them,
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
still call them Incubus, man. That fucking
Sure.
album
it's
rips.
great too, man. Their
Yeah,
first
just-
one's amazing. What a great band.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
that whole band just rips, man.
Yeah. How dare that shitty band steal their name?
Yes.
I still
Yeah.
call them Incubus, but
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know
um,
why they just didn't add like, something to it or something like BC or
Or like-
something instead
I
of a
call that
name.
other band. I call that other band Incubitch.
Bitch. Yeah.
The other band. There was
So,
a
first pick is Beyond the Unknown by Incubus, the real Incubus. Next up, an album that just came out. I've been following this band since this one woman show since she first released, and it's Holder's Versus
Yeah.
and Oath. I think that this is her best album, her best work. This really sounds very, very cavernous, and it's just
Mhm.
hectic. And it was just like when I didn't hear the whole album until I got the CD in. And it's just like the whole time I was listening to the album, I was like, good Lord, this is just good. Her debut album was really, really good, but I think this one sends it home on a stretcher, Twice on Sunday. That it's a damn good album. If anyone hasn't listened to it and they are a fan of that band, check it out. And for my number 3 for now, I don't know why, but I'm on a Benediction kick right now.
Oh,
This is the
Subconscious
first one.
Terror.
Subconscious Terror, Barney Greenway was in
Mhm.
this is not my favorite Benediction record. The second one is, but this is the one I own. I just been on a Benediction kick lately and just been listening to all their records and the EPs and stuff, and really, really, really killer band, old school, English death metal.
Mhm.
So that's my first 3.
Cool. All right, we're gonna head over to Mr. Count Ralph.
All right, I was gonna go with my new stuff first. So I just got this is the new Bruce Dickinson. I've only
Yeah.
listened to it once since I've had it because it just came out, but it came with this cool book. It's like it's like a graphic novel,
hmm
part of the
It's a concept album, isn't it?
the concept album, and I guess there's gonna be like 10 parts to this comic book or whatever coming
Wow.
out. But I only listened to it once, but right off the bat, I liked it the first time, so that's a really good sign. I mean, not every song was great. I like the other I can't remember the album right now, but I like the Chemical Wedding album is my favorite solo Bruce album. But this is great. It's like right off the bat, it's got a lot of energy and the songs are memorable. I felt my head moving as I was listening the first time. So I know it's just gonna grow on me and get better and better. Another one was the Saxon, like Denny brought up. And like the last decade, these guys have just been killing it. Everything they put out, they're one of those bands that aged really, really well. And another one, it's a little bit off the path for me. It's Incendiary Device. It's
Mhm.
Drew Stone from the New York Hardcore Chronicles channel. He did videos for like Typo Negative and stuff back in the day, Biohazard and stuff, and he's got this amazing channel that's on YouTube, and he has tons of guests. He's done over 300 episodes, and he's really amazing. And he did like one of Johnny Z's last video interviews, and he's had Abaddon from Venom on there. It's not just all hardcore, but a lot of legendary people have been on his channel. And every time the show starts, it starts off with this song called Divided State, and it's off this album. And this album just came out last year. And for a straight like old school New York hardcore, it really kicks ass. I think there's not many bands doing that, the straightforward old school New York hardcore. So this is really cool and like a breath of fresh air for all the stuff that I listen to. And oh, the other, did I do three? Yeah, I just did three. Okay, that's it. Three for
Cool,
now.
cool.
Ralph would have like 27.
Oh, he probably got over 100.
Just a quick question: Do you like the version of If Eternity Fails on that album better, and the Maiden version?
Well, right away it catches your ear because you're familiar with that song from the other album, and I guess it was like it was a demo version that he did for him. So that's the original version, but then they switched it because Iron Maiden decided to use it, and they've done that before. He had songs that were for his solo stuff, but then they needed an extra song or something, so they ended up using it as an Iron Maiden song and switched it around a little bit. So it's cool that he releases the original version. So as you're listening to the album, all of a sudden you're like, wait, why do I know this song? Kind of,
Yeah.
you know. And
I
but
thought
I
the
haven't really
same.
listened to it enough to like compare which one I like better. But I know I liked it right off the bat. I was like, oh yeah, this song's fucking cool, you know.
I didn't listen to that whole album, but I was I'm like, wait a minute, this is a Maiden song, and then there's two on there. There's two Maiden covers or whatever you want to call it, the originals.
What's
I
the
Anywho.
other
gotta go,
one?
guys. I gotta go, guys. Thank
All
you
right,
so
Seth,
much,
bye.
and I'll be listening.
Okay, Denny.
Don't
Peace,
fucking
watch.
say anything bad about me when I'm not here. I'll be.
Thank
I'll
God
be
that guy's leaving.
especially you, Stephen Levin. I fucking watching.
Oh no,
you,
no.
dude.
I got your back, bro. Nobody's gonna say
In
anything.
bad trouble at
See
Steve
you guys.
Levin.
See you guys.
Later, man.
All righty, so we're gonna move over. We lost Miles of Metal somewhere as he disappeared, but maybe
He's
he'll be
wrestling
back.
alligators.
Yeah. So anyhow, we're going to move over to Mr. Robert Tuttle from local Dio Sabbath tribute band, Lady Evil, among other projects. How are you doing tonight, Rob?
Doing good, doing good. So I really haven't put anything new on lately, but you know, working for the post office, driving around all day long, I do get plenty of opportunity to listen to stuff.
Mhm.
So the top three of the last probably week to 10 days is revisiting Black Sabbath's Heaven and Hell. And
Nice.
we cover a couple of those anyway. So, and it's just totally getting engrossed in I mean, you know, Tony comes off over the top, but just getting the undertones of Geezer sliding around doing, you know, just things that other bass players generally don't do. You know, he plays off the rhythm and all kinds of weird and wacky stuff. If you really listen into it, you're like, what the hell is he doing? And it just totally works, you know?
But that album got such a good bass sound.
I know.
Mhm.
And he's not on all of it, truth be known, like Heaven and Hell. That's not Geezer. That's,
Yeah.
I think it was Jeff Nichols, if I'm
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Jeff Nichols or either what's his
the
name?
other guy. The
Uh,
other guy that was going to replace him, and then they
Craig Gruber. Craig Gruber.
No, it wasn't Gruber. Actually, that guy's brother used to live right over the next town over from me.
Really?
Cool.
Yeah, he was a pretty interesting guy. But anyway, it's not Geezer, but the rest of it on there, and like the song "Lady Evil," that's where we, you know, borrowed our name from. And it's just got a like a down groove, you know, that intro and I mean, it just catches you right off, you know. So I'm revisiting that, and one of their less popular albums, but not for me, Born Again.
Yeah.
I love some of the songs on there. Zero the Hero, Born Again, Keep It Warm. They're just like great. I mean, they kind of like didn't have enough material, and they kind of stretched out two songs. They're not even songs; they're just like I don't know, effects loops, like running around and echoes and stuff like that. But that aside, it's It's actually one of my favorite Sabbath albums. Not the favorite, but one of.
Sure is.
Third,
It's
this
quite
is
unique.
what's that?
It's quite unique. It doesn't sound like anything else they did.
No, and I happen to love Gillen's screaming vocals on some like just the priest, where he's like just like I don't know, man. It's like he like just I don't know. It's like he saw something horrific, you know. But I really like it. And this is the third one I haven't seen brought up on here. Obie's probably familiar with this because it's from his neck of the woods. Burning Witches, Hexen. That shit. I love their new vocalist, Laura, but I'm sorry, man. She ain't got shit on Serena Telly. That is a singular talent, period. Whether you like her work or not, her voice is, oh man, it's got to be one of the top 5 singing voices out there today. She can just bring it. She can growl, which I'm not into really, especially when a girl's doing it. It kind of scares me sometimes. But and then from there she gets right up to the top. I mean, in a blink like that. She's amazing. Her lyrics are equally as amazing. And as a musician, like I listen to the song Hexenhammer, and I'm a little jealous. I wish I wrote that. Seriously, I really wish I wrote that. That's just like a captivating riff. Oh
boy. I froze up. God damn it, the hell.
You can like the song, you can hate the song, but you can't deny that there's like a great at least idea of a riff. And she's the same way. A lot of people just like right around the melody line and stuff. She's a down riff writing machine. And if you listen to her albums, she doesn't really put too many stinkers on the album. It's she's solid, and she always gets like a a really good over the top lead guitar player. Like now they got the Courtney Cox formerly from the Iron Maidens, and yeah, she just joined. She quit the Maidens, which is a cushy gig here in the States. They play all over the place, and even Iron Maiden recognizes them as a thing. And she left that band to join Burning Witches. So it's just the riff writing, and it's very captivating. Those are my 3 from the start. So that's what I got.
All right, my center square, it keeps flopping around here. Mr. Tony Dio, how are you tonight?
Good to be here, guys. And yeah, what you just said, Robert, I'm actually going to go see Burning Witches on Tuesday. They're touring with KK's Priest and LA Guns.
Is that Jersey?
I'm going to Maryland, to Baltimore.
Okay, because they're in New Jersey soon.
Probably in that same week, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So that brings me to that. I've been listening to their newest album, The Dark Tower.
Yep.
Great record. And
that's the video I've seen in 10 years.
And I've been revisiting the 2 KK Priest albums, The Center Rides Again, and the first one, what was it? The Sermon of the Sinner. Yep. And just in anticipation of seeing that show. And I know he's going to do a lot of cool Priest stuff as well in his set. I try to look at his set list that he's been on the melodic rock cruise or Monsters of Rock cruise or whatever it's called out. And I haven't watched the videos or anything. I checked the set list. I kind of want to be surprised by that when I go to see it. One new band a new album that I've been really hooked on lately. It's a band from Spain, and they're called Iron Curtain, and I actually don't own a physical copy of it yet. It's kind of hard to get. They're on Dying Victim Productions, the label, but a friend of mine is going to get me the CD. But they're called Iron Curtain, and like I said, they're from Spain, and this is their 5th album. And I think the first album really hooked me. It was like 2012. It was called The Road to Hell. And these guys sound a lot like early Running Wild, like Gates to Purgatory, Brandon and Exiled, the more speed metal Running Wild before the pirate days. It's a little Motorhead thrown in there, a little new wave of British metal, but just a really great band. Just I love that old school, fast stuff like that. So definitely a band to look into. I started a Facebook page a couple weeks ago, just the Metal Emporium on Facebook, and I've been posting stuff
Good
up.
page.
I put their new video up this afternoon. So check that out on Facebook. And one going to an older album that I've listened to a lot in the last 2 weeks. Something I had never heard, believe it or not. I'd seen this album before, but I'd never heard it. And it's a Danish band, and they're called Geisha. And I've seen this cover before, and I actually got this from King Fowley from Deceased. He has these auctions on Facebook where he puts up albums and T-shirts and so forth. And you pick a number. He tells you how much it's going to be, and you pick a number. And if he pulls your number, he chooses your number, you get to buy that item. And I got this from him, and I had seen the cover before, but I didn't even know that there's so much of a King Diamond and Merciful Fate connection with this record. The guitar player is actually Pete Black is the lead guitar player who was in King Diamond. And I was doing a little, and the lead singer is this guy, Jens, and he was the original singer in Brats, which was the pre-Merciful Fate band that Michael Denner and Hank Sherman were in. And I was doing a little history, looking up this band, and found out Mickey D had been in at one point, and Hal Patino as well on bass. But they're kind of glammy looking, but it sounds like just good hard driving heavy metal, like what you'd hear. And this is I think, what year was this? 1987. So it reminds me of a lot of the stuff that was between the 84 to 87 era, like bands like Icon and Lion and Malice and just stuff like that. It was just hard driving heavy metal. Not really, all these bands kind of had a glammy image, but they were just like straight up metal bands, And but yeah, I really like this record. I think it's really good. It's called Phantasmagoria by Geisha. If you want to look it up, it's an EP, and I did see where Demon Doll Records released it on CD in 2017 with a bunch of extras like demos and stuff on it. So that's it for right now. We'll go back to some honorable mentions a little later.
Sounds great.
Oh, and thanks for everybody that's been voting for Reaper. I'm trying to get. I'm going to see if I can get Linda to bring him in.
Every day, man. Every day.
He's doing great. He's still got a couple more rounds to go.
I voted for him so many times.
Yeah, thank you guys so much.
Day. Me too.
Yeah, we need Reaper on camera tonight somehow.
Yeah, I'll get her to bring him in. Yeah.
Anyhow, we're gonna move over to the next contestant on our show tonight. Is Mr. Stephen Levin. What's up, Steve?
Hey, what's up, guys? It's always great to be here, and it's always really interesting to hear what everybody's listening to, because we all have so much stuff that we enjoy and share, and then there's so much stuff that we don't listen to that each other listen to. So it's kind of cool to learn about new stuff and maybe go and check out some new stuff. So for me, to start off with my three, I'll do the first three that are newer bands, and they're kind of related because all three of these bands are going to be playing March 15th and 16th at New Jersey Death Fest 8. That's one of the Gutter Christ production shows. Great shows. He's just the best dude. He does so much for the metal community. If it weren't for him, New Jersey wouldn't see half the shit they've seen. So if you're in the area, come support it. It's going to be some great shows. So three of the bands that are going to be there that I've been listening to, and this band right here, Nine Dead. Can't really say enough about this band. I was a little late to the party for them. They put out a self-titled CD in 2022, and they happened to play a Gutter Christ show that I didn't go to, and because I was going the next night to a similar show, so I went back and checked them out. And this was going back to November this year, and since then, I mean, I just can't stop listening to the CD. It's so fucking heavy. It's so good. They do everything right. I mean, at this point, I don't feel like anybody's going to rewrite the book on any sort of metal. Everybody's just about done anything. You're just getting influence from certain bands, but the bands that do it properly and the bands that do it right are the bands that really deserve the respect and everything. These guys are just amazing. There's nothing about this band I don't love. The vocalist, Blake, he does all sorts of different styles. He's a sick front man. Live, they really pack a punch. The drummer, John, He has one of the best sense of heaviness. He knows right when to lay off, when to kick in the doubles. And I'm just going to say it's a great band. I can't say enough. Please check them out. They're definitely going to be doing a lot of shows within the next couple months. And then I know they're going to take a little bit of time off. But they're an amazing band. From the album, some of the songs that I like the most are 115, which has Big Don Campin from Waking the Cadaver, another band that I've been listening to a lot lately. It's a super sick song. It deals with UFOs and just stuff that's, very cool topic, and the way that they have their sound samples on it's great. My favorite song on the album, I have to say, is Desecrate. At the end of it, they do a little build up with a siren that kicks in. And I mean, how many times has the siren been done over time? I mean, going all the way back to War Pigs and stuff. But I'm going to lie, I'll fight somebody. This siren build up to the climax when the guy hits the drums and it snaps in is the heaviest breakdown I ever heard. Every time I hear it, I just want to punch everything in the room. I want to knock stuff around. It really sets me off. It just really great stuff. So another band that's playing that fest is Waking the Cadaver. Like I said, Big Don Campin. He's a legend at this point. The funny thing about these guys is they go back to the MySpace days. And I still remember my daughter, Marissa, and I love this kid so much. She's so much like me. And her favorite music is slam metal like me. And not many people could say that. A lot of people kind of are like, oh, the vocals are too much or whatever. But we love this. We love the different vocal styles. So years ago, she showed me this video of Don Campin singing Awaken the Cadaver, and it was the joke because the way he was singing, the it sounded like he was saying shredded wheat. So there was this big thing where it was shredded wheat, and they had the little meme going on, and of course it picked up a lot of traction and everything. Now here we are, like 20 years later, and he's like basically a legend, and all these kids are like, wow, singing like him, and they all want him to do guest vocals on their albums and everything. So he's really getting proper respect. Mike Mayo, the guitarist, he writes some of the catchiest riffs I've ever heard. If you like Suffocation, Internal Bleeding, Pyrexia, bands like that, bands that have that just very slammy hardcore, but then, they get the fast technical stuff. They have Lord Marco from Infinite Annihilator playing drums. I don't know if you guys know that band, but that guy's he's insane. He was one of those guys that the way that he plays, people were like, oh, this guy isn't really a drum machine. But trust me when I say he plays these drums live. They're a great band. And one of the other bands I've been listening to is playing the fest. It's Dysentery. They've been around for a while now. Great band. I met these guys years ago. Another one of Gutter shows. I've been friends with Pete Blue for a while now. Pete also plays bass in Fit for an Autopsy. He plays guitar in Dysentery, and he's just a tone master. He really has it down. Their songs are amazing. There's really nothing that I don't like about the band. Every song that they have is just really, really chunky. And it's funny because back in the day when I was actually working at Rock Fantasy and I'd put on their last album, Fragments, every single time I put that on, and I'm not lying, if somebody was listening, they'd go, what band is this? And I'd be like, oh, this is band Dysentery. They'd be like, who? It'd be Dysentery. And they're like, oh, can you get this CD? So we actually sold quite a few of the CDs at one time. So, always good stuff. But like I said, if you're in the area, go check this out. This fest is going to be lit. There's a lot of other great bands playing. So, we're going to be there partying. Tequila Steve will be there in full effect. Promise to entertain you if you buy me a drink, or maybe I'll buy you a drink. I don't know. But those are my three for now. So
cool. Next up is Ed Farsley from Armageddon Productions. Good to have Ed back on the channel. Off on vacation. We took a little break, and here he is. Good to see you.
we got the Reaper.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. We've been overshadowed. Reaper's here.
Reaper's here.
He's going to give you his picks.
Yeah. Reaper, what have you been listening to, bro?
The Wild Dogs and Wild Dogs by the Rods. Dog Eat Dog by AC/DC.
Good one.
And Ted.
And he doesn't want to hear the Stray Cats.
Yeah, that little dog's on our feed every day, and you can vote for him, and he can win $10,000. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe Daddy will get a little of that money too.
That's a lot of records.
Yeah.
A lot of vests.
Well, vote for Reaper. We'll put it in the notes, or Tony will share it on his new Facebook page if you want to get on that. Cool.
How much
I
was the
got
voting
this
going on?
Joel Dixon Terry CD.
Cool.
Oh, that's sick, dude.
What were you saying, Ed?
First
How
press.
long is the voting going on for Reaper?
Oh, so basically this week, if he ends up, if he wins this week, he'll go into the quarterfinals. Then it's the semifinals, and then the finals. So it runs a few more weeks.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a lot of competition out there too. So we thank everybody for the votes.
That's cool. Go Reaper.
Daisy didn't even enter. You forgot to enter, Daisy. Well, Daisy doesn't have a battle vest.
You need the vest.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyhow, go ahead, Ed. Kick us off.
All right.
Here.
Well, it is great to be back between getting sick, going on vacation, working extra hours. Been off the channel for a few weeks, so it's good to be back. Tonight, basically, I love this topic. I mean, like Steve said, it's good to hear what people are listening to. New stuff, old stuff. Everybody's got their own tastes. We all love metal, but all different types, and all love classic rock. So it's just cool. For myself, I'm going to Hell's Heroes in 2 weeks in Texas, the 3-day metal fest. So pretty much what I've been listening to are the bands that I can't wait to see on that fest for the last couple of weeks, for the next couple of weeks. So I mean, it's going to be an absolutely phenomenal fest. I can't wait. 3 of the top bands I'm waiting to see. Morbid Saint, one of my all-time favorite thrash bands. Know the guys very well, have a long history with them, have booked them many times in New York. Just love the guys to death. Spectrum of Death, one of my all-time favorite thrash albums, just an absolutely flawless masterpiece. And their new album, Swallowed by Hell, just another phenomenal album. Denny mentioned it also. One of the best new thrash albums out there. It's going to be on my top 5 albums next year. I have no doubt whatsoever. I haven't gotten a physical copy of it yet, but the band has them, and I'm going to be getting it in Texas. Another band I can't wait to see, Girl School. What can you say about Girl School? One of the all-time best. Just it's Girl School. I got the absolute honor and privilege to book them about 12, 13 years ago. Just the greatest ladies and just phenomenal band. Can't wait to see them again. So I've been listening to all their old stuff. Screaming Blue Murder, Hit and Run, my personal favorite Girl School album, Demolition, Play Dirty, and the new album, What the Fuck 45. Another great record. Girl School is still kicking ass. They're still fucking phenomenal. Kim is just one of the greatest fucking singer-guitarists, female of all time. She's legendary. So I can't wait to see them again. And my third top band for the festival, Autopsy. Another band that just flawless in every way. I mean, Chris Reifert wrote me when they put out the first demo because I was doing my fanzine. Been friends with him ever since. Severed Survival, one of the greatest death metal albums of all time. Just a brutal band. Mental Funeral, another album I've been listening to a lot. And the new album, Ashes and Organs, Blood and Crips.
Yep.
Fucking great record and similar to the whole stuff.
Yeah, it's a fucking great album.
It absolutely is a great album. So 3 phenomenal bands from way, way, way back then. I've been listening to their old stuff, and 3 new albums from all these bands as well. Killer new stuff. So can't wait to see these bands and a whole bunch more, which I'll mention later.
I tell you, Girl School brings back such memories of me being young and seeing them in their prime in clubs around.
You see Kelly? I never got to see Kelly live.
Oh, I saw Kelly. I was in love with Kelly. I
was awesome.
I was in love with that whole band, man. I'd be going to see them at these little clubs and you know, Hit and Run album. I know they're playing the Gramercy too, I think, in a couple weeks.
Yeah, I'm gonna go see them. They're only doing like a 40-minute set in Texas, so I'm gonna definitely see them at the Gramercy too.
Yeah. So
yeah, I'm seeing them in Raleigh in a couple weeks. They're playing Raleigh. They're actually on tour with Alcatraz is with them as well.
They are,
yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I've never seen Girl School. I had a couple of chances back. They played the early '90s. They played here, and I missed it. And I always regretted not going. So I'm glad to finally get to see some version of them. You know.
For sure. All righty. Tom, we've been making you wait all night. We got Tom Capabianca. I didn't say it right, did I?
All good, man. Listening to all these guys is fun too, so that's okay. No problem. When I work during the day, my day job, I'm lucky enough to sit at a desk and I can listen to music all day long. So some guys can't get to do that, but I basically just throw on Pandora or Spotify and I hit stoner rock or stoner metal radio.
Okay.
And I just let it fly. And I'll tell you what, there's bands here that I heard of before, and there's bands here I never ever would have heard of unless I did this. And I don't know, I'm going to run down a list here, but some of you guys are going to probably know most of these bands, but there's definitely going to be a couple on here that you might not. And I suggest you take a listen to because they hooked me from the get-go. So naturally, I'm going to start with Caius because, I mean, Caius is just phenomenal to me. Orange Goblin, Uncle Acid, and the Deadbeats. I think they're a great fucking band. What's the name right off the bat? And then they're great. Spiritual Beggars. If you ever hear of
Love them. Great band.
Stone Jesus, really good. Obviously, Clutch, they play on there. All Them Witches, great band, man.
I'm going to see them this summer.
Oh, good for you, man. I'm going to get into that in a second. Wolf Mother, heavy band, real cool. Good hooks in their song. Good singer. Greenleaf. Cadaver.
From Germany.
Yep. Graveyard's unbelievable songwriting and everything.
I've seen them a few times.
We talked about that.
Yeah.
Fu Manchu, The Sword, and Monster Magnet. Now, the problem that I have with a lot of these bands, this isn't really a problem, it's my problem, is that they're all in Europe and overseas. And they rarely come to the States. So, the fact that me and Steve talked about it, and he saw Cadaver and Graveyard, I'm just the most jealous guy on the planet because they're two of my favorites on this list. And he's seen them. And I mean, they do like a thing over here called like the Desert Fest in New York City. It's like 3 days, and some of these bands come over and they play there. I'm gonna try to make that if I can. I'm just looking to see that lineup because if it's worth it, I'll go. But if any of these bands you don't know of, check them out. I highly recommend them. I definitely left like 10 more off, but these are the ones that came to mind when I was thinking about it today. And I highly recommend them. And just throw Pandora or Spotify on. Go stoner rock radio and let it fly, man. So for 8 hours a day, I get to listen to all this cool shit for free, just at my desk. And then, in the car and whatever else. But great shit. Just discover new stuff. And wow, man, would have never knew about some of these bands if it wasn't for that. So that's it's an awesome thing to do, man. And I just want to pass it on to you guys,
Excellent.
Yeah, man.
So I guess it's my turn.
Yeah.
I've been listening. I listen to a lot of music, of course. And I work at a record store. Or own a record store. I work at it too a lot. But first band I ran into a couple weeks ago. They were part of a bill that came into Middletown at Quinn's Pins, a place I booked the bands at. And their name is Spellbook. They are also fans of the show. So if you guys are watching, cheers. And they're from York, PA. They were formerly known as Witch Hazel. I think that Tom would like them a lot because they are pretty much doom stoner occult rock. I even think a little bit of some new wave of British heavy metal, like old style 80s metal. And I've been listening to this is Deadly Charms. It was released in 2022, and I'm lost my track here, but yeah, the released in 2022. Tracks I dig, which they didn't play the other night when they were in town, is Goddess. I just love that song. Pandemonium, I think is pretty good. The title track, The Witch of Ridley Creek, Night of the Doppelganger. It's a solid album of occult doom rock. So Spellbook, this goes out to you guys. Came to Middletown, loved rock fantasy, and hung out at the shop, and you guys will be back. So that's my second one of the day. The next one I can blame on Obie, and this is something that I usually do not listen to, this style of music, but I found it, and I can't stop listening to it. We've been selling quite a bit of it in the store. It is a band from Moldova over And he already knows who it is. Obie does. He used to every time Obie was on this show a couple of years ago, when we first started, he would have their wool hat on. So it's Infected Rain, fronted by Lena Scissorhands, and they're described by some as modern metal or new metal. I discovered them recently. I've been listening to the whole catalog, and this is their latest album, which was released in the States a couple weeks back. Time. And the whole album's great, I think. Her voice is all over the place. She can growl, she can do death metal like no other, and she can make these upper high voices and just very unique. And dig the
It's a
album.
concept album.
What's that?
It's a concept album.
Is it? So you know more about it than I do. This is a concept album. What's the concept about?
Look at the title.
It's about time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Obie's let me know. I've been listening to it a lot at work. I haven't studied to find out what it was about. I've been listening to it, working out, and really dig it. I mean,
I saw them.
You've seen
I saw
them?
I saw them open up they opened for Wednesday 13 back in November.
Yep.
And yeah, they were really good live. Yeah. Good
They're
live.
heavy. Yeah, they're definitely heavy. I mean, they're in the same kind of a mold as like the Ukrainian band Ginger in ways. Yeah. Or even like Spirit Box, but Spirit Box is much more poppy than they are. But Infected Rain is my number 2. My number 3 today is a Norwegian band that just came out a couple weeks ago. It is Borknagar.
Oh, nice.
With Fall. Maybe they live near Obie. I don't know if I got any favorite songs. When I listened to this album, I listened to it from front to back. I probably gave it about 10 spins so far. I know with Ralph, I did listen to the new Bruce Dickinson album, and I found it enjoyable, but I haven't listened to the whole album yet. But the Borknagar I've listened to quite a bit. I like them a lot. I never got to see them. Of course, ICS people from Dimmu Borgir remember ICS Vortex is in this band, and once he was out of Dimmu Borgir, I was done with Dimmu. He made the band, but anyhow, Borknagar Fall was my number 3. I'm going to cheat right now. I'm just giving the rest of mine, so I don't have to go at the end. I'm cheating. I'm going to pull Ralph. The next band I'm going to talk about is another band I met at Quinn's Pins. That's Concrete Ties. They're a Western Massachusetts hardcore band fronted by Layla Eileen. The album is listened to is unrecognizable. The songs that stand out in this album to me are Disobey, My Promise, Stay True. They're going to be back at Quinn's Pins on April 27th as part of the Hudson Valley United Throwdown. We have 13 bands playing to benefit a local Pets Alive shelter, and Concrete Ties is going to be one of those bands that night. It's a mix of punk, hardcore, and metal bands that day. That's why we're called Hudson Valley United. Me and Joe Frank, a local guy that's promoting this show, and Servant of Sorrow, Sick Bay, a lot of bands that I know Steve's friends with are going to be there that day too for a good cause. And Concrete Ties, check them out. They got some videos. And what else have I got to pick out?
They just opened up for Biohazard Saturday
night.
They
just did. Yep.
At the Empire.
They're from up that way. So the next band I'll talk about is Escula Grind, who played Quinn's Pins a few weeks back. I was
Come on, I'm still doing
I was exposed to Escula Grind at the Philly Beer and Metal Fest last year as I went down to hang out with John McAtee, Incantation. They opened up the gig that night with Incantation and All Out War and I Hate God and Suicidal Tendencies. So it grindcore and fronted by Katerina, another strong female vocalist. I mean, I've got had a couple female vocalists now. I guess it's March and it's supposed to be Women's Power Month, so I picked out some strong female fronted bands tonight with Concrete Ties and Infected Rain.
She's like 4'9" height, but she has vocals like she's 10 feet.
Yeah, oh yeah. One more album I wanted to mention I've been playing the shit out of since last week is the Zach
Oh,
Sabbath
exactly.
Doom Forever Doom. It is a tribute band, and Tom Cap should listen to it because Into the Void is also a Black Sabbath tribute. But Zach Sabbath been doing this for a few years. Zach Wild and a few of my friends went to see him at Starland a few weeks ago. Sold out show. Two other ones are a little bit older, but I've been listening to it. Never stopped listening to Amorphous Halo. When this album first came out, I didn't think it was as good as the album that came out before this, but I cannot stop listening to this album, and it's still one of my favorite albums by Amorphous. And I've been listening to the latest Queensryche album a lot, and I got a signed copy. So I know Queensryche's on the road now, and they're doing Queen of the Reich and the Warning album in its entirety. But this album I really love a lot. So mentioned that. Also listen to little bit of Spirit Box and some Ginger in the Store. But that's all for me. I'm done. I'm just going to let you guys listen to what you guys got to say. So I think we left off as we start our second round here with Miles. No, Denny, Obie. That'll be Obie, then Miles, and we'll go back around and get your final thoughts and your final two and a couple of honorable mentions.
Yeah, my final two is a band from Columbus, Ohio. They have just given out one album so far on Sentient Ruin Laboratories Records, and they're called Abysmal Rift. And they are kind of like really heavy, really fast, like punching death metal. It's like monsters chasing you, and then suddenly you drop acid and fall down a hill, and everything is like melody, and everything is nice, and then suddenly you're back on the run again. It's like it's a ride. I definitely recommend them. My favorite album I found it now a few weeks back, and it came out last year, and it's Cruciamentum. It's Latin for crucifixion, and it's an international band. It's two guys from LA and two guys from England, and their album is called. It's the second album. It is called Obsidian Refractions, and I thought Incantation, the album last year, was my favorite death metal album of 2023. But after listening to this album, I'm not quite sure anymore. That should say what I need to say about that album. So that's my favorite.
Cool.
And the music is, yeah.
All right.
Check it out.
So Obie, you're not listening to the new Infected Rain after you turned them on to me?
Yeah, I got it right over here, but it's like it was the episode was what you're listening to right now, and I've been in the abyss of death metal this last couple of weeks.
Okay. So. All right, so next we're going off. It's all screwed up on my screen, but Miles is down in the bottom right corner. He's been shutting his video screen off and running around wrestling alligators or whatever he's doing down there. Maybe he's hunting sharks. Who knows what he's up to? But Miles, what's your final?
Yeah, so going back to all the old death metal that I listened to, a band that I truly love and I can never get enough of them, and for some reason I've been stuck on this album for like a few weeks now. Malevolent Creation, the Ten Commandments. I think the song Thou Shall Kill. I think Brett Hoffman went in the studio and they just told him to go nuts. And it's just fucking amazing. You know, I love Retribution. I love Stillborn and everything like that. But one of my favorite death metal bands is Malevolent Creation. And an album that I've been listening to a lot lately. And it's an older album, but it's Laws of Scourge by Sarcophago. I just love, like, INRI is like the blueprint of like black metal, and then the like Laws of Scourge is like this black and thrash metal that it just hits me in all the right ways, you know, like the title track, the Black Vomit, Crush Kill Destroy, man, that song just rips. And I just love that album, and I've been listening to it almost every morning on the way to work to get me ready to go to work. But I have some other albums I'm gonna blow through right now. This is coming from my car that's been sitting in my car that I've been listening to. Suffocation self-titled album. I've listened to Sinister Across the Sticks, Morpheus Descends,
Nice.
Lord
Middletown.
Belial.
Oh, nice.
I've been stuck on Bolt Thrower since we did
Oh,
our
yeah.
episode. Also Cryptopsy, but I've been on None So Vile. Been on some Goat Whore lately, you know, that and Blood for the Master.
Yeah.
Baphomet, Dead Shall Inherit. I don't know why, but I was listening to this Celtic
boy.
Frost record. The new Incantation, really
Oh,
good.
cool.
Fuck yeah.
Obituary, since they're coming around over here, that's their new record.
You going to that show?
Symphony of Sickness, Morbid Visions.
All right, now you're pulling a
Wild
Ralph
Records.
Pandora.
Okay.
Now you're pulling a Ralph. You're showing every CD in your collection.
Oh yeah, Instinct,
what
Cannibal Corpse. This album had a anniversary come up. I was listening to that.
Is that
Great
who's
album.
is that Desaad?
Yeah, that's that decide on what
Before
album
we
you go
went
listen
on
to.
today, he was saying how he's got that battle patch on there, and he said people are like, "We listen to that band. Who's that?"
This one just got repressed. Great Swedish death metal, love it. Bruce Dickinson's album, because the new one came out and I was just on these two. Three more. I was on some Ingve, Terrorize the World Downfall.
Ooh, yeah.
Great, one of the best grindcore albums ever made. And I'm glad Ed brought this up because I had to go get it because I've been on Severed Survival like hardcore lately. So, yep, that's it.
All righty. So you definitely pulled the Ralph, and now we're
Call him
heading
Ralph Jr. from now on.
now we're heading to Ralph. I remember when I first did the Hudson Valley Squares, I was allowed 2 honorable mentions. Now Ralph gets as many as he wants on there. He must have some pull to be part of.
You gotta fucking break the rules, man. You can't
Fuck
do it.
yeah.
Oh, they'd all get all
Talking
snot.
metal. We're talking metal over here.
Butch
So I
would
gotta
get
say, going after Miles is perfect because how great is it that this young dude, all his shit he's listening to is the shit he should be listening to. It's all these classic things that came out before his time. Fuck all this new shit. This is the original shit. This is why there's that shit still going today is because all these fucking classics came out. That's great to see someone his age going backwards and saying, this is what I'm fucking checking out. I got to catch up on all this great old school music. Hail to you, Miles. You made me proud tonight. All right. And another thing I want to say is how Ed says, like, he's got this festival coming up. So he's listening to all the bands. That's been my thing forever. Like, whatever I have on my list of shows coming up, I go through the whole discography. I never try to see what the set list is ahead of time. I hate doing that.
I'd be surprised.
Discography up until that show to get psyched for the show. So that's usually my listening habits. But it's changed since I've been doing the Hudson Valley Squares on Sea of Tranquility and now the Rock Fantasy Files. Most of the time I'm doing homework, which is great.
Yeah, I agree.
So I love that. But okay, with that said, I'm gonna another thing. So Chris Ed bring up Autopsy and so did Miles. But so the last 2 years, both of the Autopsy albums were in my top 5 of the year. But Chris and Greg, Greg Wilkinson, the current bass player, they have a side project band. It's a 2-man band, but they do everything. And it's called Static Abyss. And these 2 albums came out in the last 2 years. So that means that Chris and Greg have put out 4 fucking albums in the last 2 years. And this shit is amazing. This is killer. It has a lot of it's Chris singing, so it has that Autopsy feel. There's some of those really heavy, doomy Sabbath riffs, but it's a little bit speedier and more up tempo kind of. But it's very similar. It's like it must be really hard for them to go, let's save this one for Static Abyss and this one for Autopsy. But you always look back in the 70s and you go, wow, Kiss put out 2 albums in 1 year, and this band put it. These guys 4 albums in 2 years, and these are really amazing. Don't sleep on this. Static Abyss, really killer shit. So Tom had bring up all the stoner and doom stuff that he's listening to. This is a band. These albums are from 2001 and I think 2009. But I've been on a Church of Misery kick.
Oh, Japan, nice.
Stoner metal doom from Japan, Houses of the Unholy and Master of Brutality. Total Sabbath worship, but it's got like a really heavy kind of vocal sound to it and stuff, makes it a little different. But these guys are really amazing, and I've been trying to go back and get all this stuff. They put out a new album last year, a really killer band. I also the new Metal Church. I was late to getting it. I didn't get it when it came out, but I bought it because I had recently read the Metal Church book, and Eric Lopez from Lost Boss Band is killer, and I knew he was going to be a great fit for this. So I was like, I got to get their new album. And then this is another band. I've had these albums. I've had like these old demos of this band Nunslaughter. I'm wearing the hat. I had them up for one of the shows in Brooklyn a couple years ago. I finally got to see them. I got these old demos. I got some old 7-inches. But then I realized they got so many albums and I haven't been albums. Now I gotta go back and I gotta get so many. But two of the recent ones I got, this one from like what was it? I think 2021, and this one is a live one from 2009. But there's a ton of great stuff by this band. This is an underrated band. They got like that old school kind of necrophagia, really heavy, more necrophagia, a little faster at times, but it just has that old school feeling, whether you're listening to the old stuff or the new stuff. But they've been around for a real long time. And
they actually just popped up on my YouTube, was it 2 days ago? That first album from '87. I never heard about them before, and I was like, damn, this is good.
Yeah,
I heard this band before.
Yeah, they're really amazing. They've been slugging it out for years and years, and they need a lot more respect.
They have so much material. It's crazy.
Yeah, I got a lot of catching up to get all their old shit. But and they're a great live band. They just played this weekend. Two of my buddies went down to see them. Jay and Brandon, who's been on this show, they went down over the weekend to see them with Pro Fanatica. But another old school band that's got a lot of shit that I got to catch up on is Infernal Majesty. So
nice.
This is just one that I just picked up that I never heard, and I was like, I'll give it a shot. And it's really good old school Canadian thrash. I know Denny's good buddies with them, but yeah, I didn't go too crazy. That's it.
Cool. All right, gonna move over to Robert Tuttle. What do you got left over there, Rob?
I got a couple left. Has anybody seen on YouTube the band Dogma?
I don't think so.
It's like 4 girls, and they're all dressed up kind of like King Diamond, and it's sort of a visual thing, but they're not too bad. But obviously, if you type in Dogma, you get like 40,000 different entries. But I popped up in my recommended feed, and I watched a couple of them, and they got like these wild videos and very riff driven. I'm just wondering if they put out an album or something. They got 5-6 songs on there.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with them.
Yeah,
wasn't there an alternative band called Dogma back in the '90s?
Yeah, exactly. But when you cross international boundaries, you can kind of throw all that crap away. You can have a Dogma in every country.
Yeah.
So I did listen to some of the singles from the new Bruce Dickinson album, and I kind of liked it. It was kind of pretty good. Generally floating around on any given day, I've got probably Accept, Balls to the Wall, kind of the obligatory thing you throw on, a Kiss Alive. Generally in my top rotation lately has been Red Dragon Cartel. I really
nice.
Yeah, we got to open for Jake and hang out with him for like 90 minutes. He's kind of cool. He likes everybody except for Sharon Osbourne.
I wonder why.
Yeah,
wonder why.
That's everybody else. But just some of the way he does. He's not the speed demon he used to be. I understand he had carpal tunnel surgery a few years ago, but he still does weird phrasings and all kinds of stuff. And his melodies are just different than a lot of people's. He's still kind of the same old Jake, although a little not as quick as he used to be. He's still really good though. And then of course Zebra, No Telling Lies. I'm a huge Randy Jackson fan. Got the pleasure of opening for them twice. That was really cool. And then this is like probably not on anybody's list. And I used to listen to it a lot in high school, and then I didn't listen to it for longer than I want to admit. Tubular Bells. Just the whole,
Oh yeah.
just the whole orchestration thing, and there was some metal moments with the Piltdown Man and all that stuff, but just the way he kept going over and over and repeating a theme and then moving it on and I don't know, just something about it. The opening riff, of course, being The Exorcist, that's like the least favorite part, but some of the other stuff kind of really goes on. And that's what I've been like going over the last week or so. I got lots of time in the vehicle, but sometimes it's just you put the same thing on so you can time yourself.
And we'll see you here in Middletown on March 22nd with Lady Evil. If you're in the Middletown area, want to meet Rob and come check out his band, Lady Evil, and you have an opening act also.
Obsidian.
Joey Campo is going to be there. Cool.
They're all originals, and they're pretty good.
Cool.
Actually, they're very good, and they're very interesting. They're hard metal-ish kind of. I wouldn't say they're not like hardcore or anything, but they're more melodic. They got a female singer, and she can really sing.
All right, cool.
You can figure it out, and they have catchy melodies, and of course you got Joey's thunderous drums. He's back with us in the Greg Woods band.
Okay.
Left for I don't know 10 years or something, but
wow.
He's back and kind of like revitalized the situation, and I want to give a shout out to my friend Louis Spagnola from the Richie Scarlett band and the Greg Woods band. He just had surgery today. He's recouping.
Okay.
So, hanging out at home and take the next couple of weeks off. So.
All righty. Tony Dio, my center square tonight, and
we listen to a lot of music at work too. We stream a lot just off YouTube mainly. I mean, so we listen to Motorhead and ZZ Top. I'll pull playlists up on YouTube, and we have a lot of stuff playing. My coworker is obsessed with Sleep Token, so that plays a lot in the background. And but I was thinking when Tom was mentioning listening to the playlist of the stoner bands, there's a channel on YouTube called Weedian, and it's all stoner rock bands compilations. And there's one that it seems like it always cycles back to this and plays this compilation. It's like maybe a couple of hours of bands, and it's called Weedian: A Trip to Greece. And it's all these Greek stoner bands, I guess, but it's some good stuff. I hear it a lot, and I don't really pay attention to who the bands are. I need to go sometimes and try to figure some of them out because some of the songs are really catchy. But yeah, I'm kind of like what Ralph was saying too. We got shows coming up, so I've been kind of going back, and I know stuff that I've got coming. And we got Voivod and Prong coming. And a couple weeks ago, I think 2 weeks ago, I was listening to some Voivod, which I listen to old Voivod. I doubt they play any of the old stuff anymore. I don't know, but yeah. And like I said, we've got Girl School coming, and so I was playing some Girl School. But I've been anticipating the new Judas Priest album that comes out this Friday.
Yes, it does.
Got it pre-ordered. And I really do. I've listened to those songs several times. The Crown of Horns and the Serpent and the King and Panic Attack, and there's one Trial by Fire. Everything I've heard, I like so far. I think it's going to be a good record, just a good, solid, fast-paced Judas Priest record. More the modern sound that they've got. Obie and I were discussing. The other night we were on Messenger, and we get talking about old death metal bands, because I was telling him about seeing all the old bands in the day, like in 1993 and stuff, when everybody was new. And we got off on Unleashed, and I was like, man, I haven't listened to Unleashed in forever. So I pulled out Where No Life Dwells, their debut album, and it's great. I was telling him, I sent him a video, some of the shows that I was at. A guy used to film all the shows, and they're on YouTube.
So great sound too.
Yeah, he puts clips on YouTube, and he had when Unleashed played, and they opened for Cannibal Corpse for that show. But yeah, it was good to go back and revisit that album. I mean, before the creation of time and all those songs, man, just some good stuff on that album.
Me and Levin both went to see him on that tour. Me and Levin both seen him on Where No Life Dwells tour. I'm sure Ed probably
Best album.
Yeah. Yeah, I just remember that they were one of the first bands I saw in that period they were doing the whole Viking thing. He was like drinking out of the horn on stage, and they did a cover of Countess Bathory from Venom that night. Really cool. And but yeah, otherwise than that, I have listened to the new Bruce Dickinson a couple of times that I just on streaming. The Mandrake Project. I liked Many Doors to Hell and Rain on the Graves. I thought it was a cool song. I want to hear it some more.
Cool video
And
too.
the new Ace Frehley, I do like the new Ace Frehley. I like it better than anything he's done in a while. It kind of like what Denny was saying. It is poppy in ways, but it kind of reminds me of some of the songs he did on Unmasked, and I like Unmasked. I like Talk to Me and you know, Torpedo Girl and stuff. It's just kind of cheesy, but I think it's cool. And it's very poppy. And the new album's got some good songs, but he's got a song on there called Fighting for Life. It's one of the best Ace Frehley songs in years. And but yeah, there's all this talk about, you know, was it, you know, is it assembled in the studio? Is it AI? Whatever. They made a good record. It's actually better than anything he's done in a while. I'd give it like a 6 out of 10, you know. But yeah, I'm digging it so far. So yeah, so that's about it for right now. Yeah.
That Greek stoner thing you talked about, there's a band called 1000 Mods.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good. Check it out, people. 1000 Mods from Greece.
1,000 Mods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything from Unleashed in a while. When they did that Midwinter Bolt album, it was fucking such a great return. And they put out a couple great albums. And now I don't know if they're a band right now. I haven't heard anything about them in a while.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, they trying to do a comeback there for a little bit. It seemed like, but yeah, I haven't heard anything from them in quite a while.
All righty, thanks. I'm
No
hearing
Sign
like
of Life
I'm hearing
in 21
like
is the last one.
I'm hearing like a phantom ghost going through this show tonight. I don't know what coming off somebody's mic. I hope it's not mine. You're hearing it too? It's like it's like we invited a demon to the show tonight. It's like talking to demons. Steve
Demons are
Levin's
playing.
next. So Steve,
We started barking, but he went out. So
Steve, I remember years ago we were at the Chance and Unleashed were there. We got pictures with them. Yeah, I think you were there that night, right?
Yeah, that was that Invincible tour that they were fucking off.
I forget who they were with that night.
More than I like their early stuff, to be honest with you. I love their comeback albums. They put out like 3 really, really good records.
And some of the mid albums weren't that great. Like they started off great, and then they got a little boring. But when they came back with Interpol, that was one of my favorite albums. That album.
Yeah, guitarist on that album, great, really good stuff. Super melodic.
So there's a lot to them.
Yeah.
The Hunt of the White Christ is that next last album is really good.
Yeah, yeah. All right, okay. Steve.
So one band, this is an old band, and they don't really get spoken about a whole lot. And you know, we're talking about the whole stoner doom thing. These guys certainly fit that label. But I read this book, Death SS. The SS isn't anything Nazi or anything. It stands for Steve Sylvester, who's the singer of the group. This band is the real deal, satanic stuff. They were involved in rituals. They did just a lot of stuff that was just like real deal. I mean, even more so than what I hear like King Diamond did. I'm not saying that King's a real Satanist too, but these guys were very influenced by Spanish old comic books, which had like a lot of like European, like kind of like mid-level erotica, you know, topless women, that kind of stuff. It was ghouls and vampires and wolfmen and all that kind of stuff. Super, super inspired by Hammer horror and that type of thing, to the point that they actually, the singer Steve Sylvester actually like investigated like real Satanism, went and met people throughout Italy who taught him how to do certain things. if you're into this kind of thing, you should read the book. It's just a great read. You won't put it down. I read it in like 2 days. It really explained a lot about them. I've always loved their music, especially the early stuff with Paul Chain playing on it. I believe that era was from like 1978 to I think about 82. Maybe it was a little bit longer than that, but that era is just so sick. His phrasing, his lead guitar work, I mean, people yell at me for this, but I like it better than what Iommi does. Now, obviously, if there was no Iommi, he would never have done what he did, but some of the stuff he does is so weird, it's so off kilter, it's so strange, and it just speaks to me in volumes. I love this band. There's not much I can't say about their early stuff. Horror music is great. This is some of their early stuff right here. This is the box set, The Night of the Living Death SS, which actually has a VHS tape in it. So I do VHS player. But these guys really, they did the whole thing with stage shows very influenced by Alice Cooper. They supposedly actually had sex with a woman in a casket on the stage. Brought real bones and animal remains on the stage, did real sacrifices on the stage. Watain was 100% influenced by these guys. They were doing it well before. As a matter of fact, Watain actually does a cover, one of my favorite songs by them, Chains of Death, which is just, I mean, for when that came out, there wasn't much heavier. Other songs I love from them are Terror, Murder Music, Zombie, Vampire. Just a great band. If you like stoner stuff, if you like Satanism and music, if you like really, really serious, fuzzy occult music, these guys are just great stuff. I can't say enough about them. And another thing I've been listening to, which I've been listening to ever since I first saw them years ago, I happened to catch their singer. It was one of those YouTube things, just like Rob was talking about, where you just put on like YouTube or Spotify or Tom, I'm sorry, I'm not sure who was saying that. You put it on and it just plays over and over and you discover bands you haven't seen. So YouTube channel was on and I was watching somebody and this band comes on and I'm watching the singer. I'm going, my God, this singer's like, he's amazing. Who is this band? Well, it turned out it was Spite. I'm a member of the Spite cult forever. This band speaks to me in volumes. It's a newer style band. They don't do a lot of lead work. I would say it's along the lines of deathcore. Singer Darius is one of the most animated, amazing frontmen. He not only has a great voice, which he delivers a lot of different styles, but also just the way that he acts on stage is very akin to some of the old classic guys like a Rob Halford, where he's really like acting up on stage. He's really putting himself into the music and showing what it's about. I really love the band. It's not everybody's cup of tea, but it's definitely my cup of tea. They inspire me to get up off my ass and work out, walk around the yard, keep myself healthy, do shit that I need to do. When I'm feeling down or something, I can put this band on and they pick me up. So, I mean, there's other bands like that too. For instance, Slayer, I can always put on Hell Awaits or something like that. It's going to kick my ass. But these are younger guys. And, I definitely agree what Ralph says. I love that Miles and some of the younger guys on the channel, because I'm an old dude, and I just love that some of the younger guys, Obie, they love the old metal. They go back, they investigate it, they respect it, they see what's up. By the same token, I love older guys that are like, you know what? Let's check out some new music. Let's see what it's about. Yeah. Oh, these guys, it's a little bit different than what we like, but you know what? I still dig that. So, I feel like it goes both ways. Sometimes it's really good for us older guys to respect some of the older stuff too. But yeah, I love that some of the, you young cats are keeping this. It keeps it alive. And I mean, not for nothing. I went to Mortician's show this week and, I love hanging out with the guys. We really went just to hang out with the boys. We didn't even really go to see the show. I missed a lot of bands just hanging out, meeting cats, meeting a lot of younger people. So at the end of the night, I was hanging out. I was talking to Sammy and Roger and Will. And a young girl comes up and she asked if she could get a picture with Sammy. She didn't ever, I don't know what the deal was, but she needed me to take the picture. So I took the picture for her. Then she wanted to get a picture with me for some odd reason. But I asked her how old she was. She's 13 years old. Her and her friend were there watching this show. I think it's so cool that these young kids are going out and watching these shows. You know what? And it's up to us old cats to invite them in, to respect them, to make them feel welcome and safe. No gatekeeping. Don't be an asshole. And, if you see a younger person, smile at them. It's not gonna fucking kill you, you know. And I mean, that's coming from me, the guy that they call Satan sometimes, you know. So yeah, I love that. Young people respect the old people and vice versa. I think it's super important. But some other stuff I've been listening to, I'll always listen to Holocaust, the Nightcomers, constant rotation for me. The first Angel Witch and Angel Witch EPs. I'm always in a new wave of British heavy metal kick. It's a period of music that's really special to me. A to Z, a band, Acid, some of the other Euro metal from that time. Some of the newer stuff I've been listening to are Mark of the Altar. The singer from Nine Dead turned me onto them. They're amazing, amazing band. Another one of the younger bands that's doing like a lot of slammy elements. And I don't know where my list is, so I'll probably just shut up there. Let's see. There's a couple other bands that I wanted to mention. It's here somewhere. I always do this. I take too many notes and I can't find them all. So whatever. But yeah, I mean, I'm listening to old stuff. I'm constantly listening to new stuff. Me and my daughter, Marissa, we share a lot of common interests. So I'm constantly sending her stuff and vice versa. And, you know, it keeps me young. It keeps me moving. And when you start to approach 60 years old, that's what it's about. You know, go out, memories, enjoy music, get off your ass, and just don't be stagnant. So anyway, guys, thank you. This is
cool. Yeah, this episode's running pretty long. We got Mr. Ed Farsley. Sorry to keep you guys waiting so long, and been a good episode. But Ed, let's wrap this thing up.
Yep. Yeah, cool. No, definitely a fun episode. To continue where I left off, again, I'm going to Hell's Heroes in Texas in 2 weeks for 3 days of awesome metal. Outstanding lineup. So many old school bands. So happy to see a lot of them. But basically, I've been listening to the bands that are playing the festival. I can't wait to see. Queensryche. They're doing the tour soon with Armored Saint, which is going to be great. But they're debuting. They're doing the first EP and the Warning in its entirety, from what I understand. Cannot fucking wait for that. That's going to be absolutely flawless. Tank. I can't believe I'm seeing Tank. Fucking total bucket list band. So I've been listening to Filth Hounds of Hell, Power of the Horde, Power of the Hunter, This Means War, Honor and Blood. I mean, they're doing an old school set, and I can't believe I'm seeing Tank. So I've been listening to old Tank. Some of these albums I haven't listened to in a while, I hate to say, but just reliving that great band. Sodom, Victims of Death on the 1982 album. I can't wait. Hopefully they do that song. Sodom, I've seen a bunch of times. I absolutely love Sodom. One of the greatest bands of all time. Never faulted, never did a bad record. So I've just been listening to the entire Sodom catalog. New stuff, old stuff. It's all fucking great. Next band, Solitude Eternus. I've been listening to the first 2 albums primarily. I worked at Roadrunner when we put those albums out, so I'm very familiar with them, and I love them to death. Got to be friends with Robert Lowe, the singer, when he was singing for Tyrant, when I brought him over here a few years ago for one of my fests. Really cool guy. Strange man, but a really, really cool guy. And I'm looking forward to seeing him again. Hellstar. They're doing a Nosferatu set, so I'm listening to Nosferatu.
Killer, man.
Ungle, Watchtower, Omen, Doro doing a Warlock set. So I've been listening to a lot of really great old metal lately. And looking forward to seeing a lot of these bands. So it's going to be a great fest. Hopefully, I don't know if I'm going to see any of you guys down there, but I hope to see a lot of friends down there.
I got a bunch of friends from North Carolina that are going down. I'm missing out this year. I hate it. But
my first time going to this fest. I can't wait.
There's one guy from the channel going, but he's performing. Chris Caffrey is performing with Doro this weekend.
Oh, nice.
Is it this weekend? Next weekend? This weekend you said that?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. So yeah, Chris got the call a couple weeks ago, and he let me know that he was going down to do. Doro's doing all warlock.
Yeah, she's doing all warlock.
Yeah.
That's gonna be cool.
Yeah.
So I'll be down there Wednesday night for the pre-show. So 2 weeks from tonight, I'll be down there. James Rivera's doing an old metal set.
Cool.
Nunslaughter. Somebody mentioned Nunslaughter before. They're doing one of the after show party. So it's gonna be a great time.
Yeah, James Hellstar's debut album just turned 40 this week.
Wow.
Burning Star. Yeah.
Damn.
Keeler did a great interview with the singer. If you go back on the Rock Fantasy Files, there's a great old older episode where it was just Keeler doing a great interview with the singer
Yeah.
from Hell.
James Rivera, yeah, he's a really, really cool guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's a count as well, Ralphus.
Yes,
Yeah,
he is.
I know.
Yes, he is.
I
He's
love
got-
that
he's
Burning
got
Star.
fangs.
I got that Burning Star album on vinyl, and the second
Mhm.
one as soon as they came out back in the day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, it's funny. His name's James Rivera, but on the first album he's listed as Bill Lionel. And I asked him once, I said, is that a different singer? He goes, no, it's me. He just said he wanted a more like American sounding name at the time. He was just a kid. So it's like Bill Lionel was, I mean,
Bill
James Rivera is a lot more rock star sounding than Bill
Yeah.
Lionel.
Sounds like a politician.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So, Tom, do you got anything to add before we wrap this up tonight?
Yeah, I'll be quick. I live in Clark, New Jersey, and I grew up in Cranford, the next town over. And lucky for me, Johnny Zazula, he opened up that record store called Rock and Roll Heaven right in Clark.
Yeah, sure.
And, he started. I don't think I have to explain who he is to anybody here.
No,
I used to ride my bicycle there in the early days before I had a license. And the best thing that I ever saw in a record store in my life was he had all kinds of imports there and bands you never heard of.
Yeah.
So you'd pick up a record out of the bin, bring it to the counter, and he would take it out of the jacket and play it for you and display the album cover. So if you liked it, you could buy it. And I never heard of Witchfinder General and like some of these other killer bands. And here's this guy just like cut open the plastic, put the record on a turntable and played a whole record while you went back and shopped. Like, and if naturally you liked it, you went back up and you bought it, you know. But
yeah.
the other cool thing about Rock and Roll Heaven was, you know, obviously for me, it was close. I could go there every day, which I did on a bicycle. But Metallica in the early days was like hanging out there because they were living in New York in like a warehouse with Anthrax. And Johnny Z brought him over here from California.
Yeah.
So, you guys know the story. And like Manowar was there, like hanging out in the store, and Anthrax and like Anvil and all of these bands, like, you know, and I'm just like this young kid, like, holy shit. I didn't even know who half these dudes were. I'm just bullshitting with everybody, looking through records, talking about music. And it was just the coolest thing that could ever happen. The day that store closed, like a part of me died, man. I was so depressed, man. It was just like, man, I just had nowhere to go after that. So I started doing drugs and drinking. But anyway.
Well, if you dig into the archives of this channel, we did a episode on Johnny Z and we did
Megaforce.
Megaforce,
yeah, signed a lot of great bands, helped out a lot of great bands. You know, did what he could, stuck all his money and put these guys up for a place to live and, you know, fed them and just like, you know, put them on tour. And I mean, he started a lot of great bands, man. I mean, I'm sure sooner or later we're going to see a killer documentary on that guy because he deserves one, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Great book out there on him. He put out a book.
Oh, okay. I'll check that out.
Cool.
I'll check that out. But yeah, I just figured I'd throw that out there because I figured all you guys knew who he was, you know?
Oh, yeah. Yep, for sure. Anyhow, I hope everyone enjoyed this episode. Thanks for everyone for giving their time to the channel tonight. And of course, Denny, who started us off and had to leave to go play hockey. But the viewers, please take a moment to hit subscribe, of course, on the channel if you like what we're doing. And mention what you guys are listening to in the comments. And we'll be back next week with another episode of the Rock Fantasy Files. And if you're in Middletown, New York, stop by the world famous Rock Fantasy and say hello and come out to a show at Quinn's. We got plenty of good stuff coming up. Cool. And we'll see you guys. And Into the Void's coming back in October. So
yeah, man, we'll be there.
Oh yeah, you better be. And and we're gonna someone's gonna sing Never Say Die next time.
We're going to do the first three, I promise. Right off the Never Say Die record, the first three songs.
Boy.
You got to invite Steve up on the stage for that song. make Steve Keeler sing it. He's done Black Sabbath songs live before.
I'm
He can
not
do it.
doing. I think Johnny Brullo does a better job than I do. But
He's always welcome up on the stage, man.
all right.
That's the only album with a Tony Iommi vocal.
Yes, background. Yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
Anyhow, we'll see you next time, and stay strong out there, everybody.
Yep.
Okay.